Hello, have you got a book in you? Maybe you've read some other books written by health professionals recently that have left you thinking, I could have written that. Or even, I could have written a much better book than that. So, what's keeping you? My name's Dr. Jenny Brockis. I'm a medical practitioner and internationally board certified lifestyle medicine physician and the author of 4 books. I love writing and sharing my ideas, but I have to confess that writing a book was never really on my agenda until it was. 4 books in, and I'm starting to get the hang of it. Only kidding. But I have learnt quite a lot along the way and have made a number of sometimes quite costly mistakes. So the purpose of this video is to share with you some of what I've learned and to give you some guidance in what I think can help you to become a book author. So let's start with your big idea. This is about understanding what the key message of your book is. If you had to write it down as a single sentence, what would it say? It's really important to get clear about your ideas and your messaging, because if you're not, your readers will quickly get lost. Be succinct. Now, I have to confess, I suffer from worditis. I love words, but too many words can cloud your message and the meaning. So this is where you have to get ruthless. Consider every single word in every sentence. Is every word needed, or is it fluff? Or worse still, a cliche. Be memorable. Whatever subject matter you're writing about, others are likely to have written about the same. So be different, stand out, use sound bites, use alliteration. Be quirky if that's your nature, but be interesting. If you're sharing a fact, ask yourself, so what? And be you. It's so tempting as a health practitioner to show off how clever we are, how much we know. But by being you, by being human, your readers connect to you at a different level. They know who you are and what you're an expert in. What they want to know is how you're sharing that information. They don't want umpteen references. This is not an academic paper. Secondly, it's really important to understand why you're writing this book. There's a reason, isn't there? There are 3 questions that I think can help you here. What I'd like you to do now is to find a piece of paper and a pen. And at the end of each question, just take a moment to consider, what's your answer? The first question is, why does writing this book matter so much to you? What's the so what? The second question is, why does this book really matter to you so much? What's the so what? The third question is, why does this book really, really matter to you? What's the so what? By digging a little deeper, it becomes much easier to understand your real reason for writing this book, beyond the generic, I've got something important to say. Yes, we get that. But what? The next question to ask is, who are you writing this book for? Is there a particular audience that you're reaching out to? Are they in a particular demographic or age range or gender? Who is this book for really? This is where creating an avatar can really help. An avatar is someone that you know intimately and understand their problems. What's bothering them? What are they worried about? What solution do you have for their issues? And give your avatar a name. My last avatar was Belinda, and I wrote the book as if I was in a conversation with her. One question that you are going to have to answer fairly early on in the piece is, are you going to self-publish or do you want to work with a publisher? Now, there are pros and cons with each, and I have done both. So I thought it'd be helpful just to outline the advantages or disadvantages of either. Firstly, timing. It's much faster to self-publish. So if your content is very current, be mindful that with a publisher, it can take anything from 9 to 18 months until your book hits the shelves. Self-publishing will get it out quicker, and it gives you the freedom for those quick edits as required. Control. This is a biggie. With self-publishing, you're in total control from woe to go. You get to say when and how much and all those sort of things. With a publisher, you are essentially giving up your baby for adoption. You get visiting rights, but the publisher is the one who decides the title, the design, and timing of release. You do have some input, but you might have to be good at negotiation. Cost? With self-publishing, you wear the lot. Although with print on demand, this is far less onerous than it used to be. And with a large online market, well, that's definitely inexpensive too. When working with a publisher, they wear much of the cost, but you will be contracted to buy back a certain quantity from them, and you're not allowed to discount your book yourself, although retailers will happily do that without ever asking you. With a publisher, you do get royalties from sales, and typically these get paid out twice a year. With distribution, this is all about reach. If you want to go global, then working with a publisher is the way to go. They can get your book to places you probably never imagined and translate it into different languages. But if your book is more for a local market and your own clients, then self-publishing might suit you far better. You're probably wondering, is there a best way to write a book? Well, everybody has their own way, right? The main thing to determine is what works best for you. It could be so many words a day, you could have a word count per week, you may choose to work in blocks of time on certain days, but the main thing is to determine what works best for you and then to do the work. Consistency of habit is key. Don't wait until you're in the mood. That could be 3 months away. Create the habit and get on with it, even when you don't feel like writing. Give yourself a reward if you need be. And some people like to join a writing circle because then you get the support and encouragement from the other people going through the same journey. And know too that your first draft will be rubbish. And that's okay, because this is the starting point from which you'll be turning that lumpy, bumpy, incoherent ramble into a flowing literary masterpiece. It's normal to be full of self-doubt and wonder why you ever thought it was a good idea to write a book. Every author I have met, and I include myself in this, will tell you that we all experience this time of thinking, am I good enough to write a book? Do I know enough? Is this going to be too trite, too long, too whatever? Let's get over ourselves, right? You've got something important to share, so let's get on and create our masterpiece. One thing I would suggest is to consider working with a book coach. They are worth their weight in gold. My first time working with a coach was completely eye-opening. It made such a difference to the book writing journey. Their experience can help you get through the downtimes, provide you with sound advice about structure, planning, and word count, as well as how to get your book proposal in front of a publisher if need be. I was really surprised when my book coach said that I'd be spending about 80% of my time planning my book and only 20% writing. Really? My fingers were itching to get at the keyboard. Not so fast, she said. Let's map this out. Get your working title sorted, your key messages clear, your avatar written, and then your chapters, headings, and subheadings. She was right. Less can be so much more in the long term. By mapping out the framework of the book, Writing it suddenly became a lot easier because basically you're filling in the gaps between those chapter headings. And book writing is always a team effort. You, your coach, your trusted beta readers, your experts providing input and perhaps case studies, your publisher if working one and their team, editor, marketer, proofreader, plus your home team, your partner left cooking dinner once again, the kids being asked to be quiet and not to interrupt you while you're writing, etc., etc., etc. As a health professional, you have so much expertise and wisdom to share with your readership. But what are your readers going to do with the information once they've finished reading it? This is where having a really strong call to action and advice where they can access you or additional resources is essential. What do you want them to actually physically do after reading your book? Other than, of course, telling all their friends what a great book it is and that they need to buy it too. Now that you've written your book, taken it to market, experienced the joy and wonder of holding your own book in your hands and received applause and marvellous reviews, what's next? Have you got another book in you? It's a bit like childbirth. At the time you say, never again. But the pain is quickly forgotten, and guess what? All of a sudden, you've created a sequel or 3. With so much hype and misinformation out there, the time is now for you to write your book and share your message with the world. I hope you found this video useful. And if you have any further questions, please don't hesitate to reach out and contact me at drjennybrockis.com. I'm more than happy to help in any way I can. The world needs your book, and I'm looking forward to seeing it out there on the shelves very soon.